Day, for those just sitting in, for those just turning on Sportsnet, Ben Revere, member of the Jays from Philadelphia. Here's what he can do for you. He can play a little left field, can play a little center field. He can hit leadoff. Based on what we're hearing, maybe leadoff isn't the position that John Gibbons will start him once he arrives. He's looking maybe bottom of the order, keep Tulowitzki where it is. Driving and runs is driving and runs is driving and runs. It doesn't matter where you're hitting in the lineup. So maybe Gibby keeps him there. That's what Revere can do for you. Ben Revere is not the best defensive left fielder / center fielder in baseball, but considering Chris Colabello's out there, why the hell not? Also, Michael Saunders got injured with the sprinkler and the thing with the hey. We don't know when he's coming back. That makes sense for the Toronto Blue Jays. Mark Lowe is a guy who they acquired today from Seattle. 3 left-handed pitchers from the Jay system go to Seattle for a guy with an ERA of, what is his ERA, Timmy? 1.0. Oh, my God. 32 years old. He's been around the block. Seattle signed him on a minor league contract and flipped him for 3 prospects. It's not bad.
Yeah, I was going to say
to echo Tim's point from earlier today, which I'm borderline stealing, so I'll give Tim
the start show.
Well, I'm just saying, you make the point earlier. But
they picked him up off the scrap heap. They turned him into 3 prospects. If you're wondering what the Jays gave up for Ben Revere, it's Jimmy Cordero and Alberto Torrado. Now, a lot of people lamenting a little bit.
They traded Jimmy Corderas?
No, Jimmy Cordero.
Oh, my God.
No, I wouldn't let that happen.
Supposed to have a coronary.
Alberto Torrado, a 20-year-old right-handed pitcher from the Dominican, 4-3 in Dunedin with a 3.23 ERA. The whip's a little high at 1.304, but you get the point. He's a talent, and he's another one going out the door. I mean, we were saying off the top in Oprah-like fashion, you're a Jay, you're a Jay, and you're a Jay. It might be, here's a prospect, there's a prospect.
And the Jays also traded Felix Doubront to the Oakland A's today for cash. So a bit of a safety net is gone there in terms of the rotation. We'll dive into that a bit more later on here on the show. But as we sit back, this is really the first time for all of us to breathe, right?
Yeah.
This week has been nuts, and this is the first chance collectively.
Unlike any other in Blue Jays history.
Unlike any other before trade deadline, really. And now we get to focus on what happened. And Tim, I want to focus as well, as you look at the names here that they've brought in the last how many hours.
Right. And you might as well throw Aaron Sanchez on that mix because they get him back and he goes into the bullpen. So now you've got 3 new arms in that bullpen as opposed to the start of the year.
The New York Yankees last night lost a late thriller in Texas. Josh Hamilton had a big night, drove in the game-winning run. Jays win, Yankees lose. The lead is down to 6 games in the American League East. Looking around the wild card, Minnesota Twins today, they picked up Jepsen, and he's a solid reliever, ERA under 3 over his last 2 years. He'll help. The Orioles, Gerardo Parra. They needed a left fielder. They needed any corner outfielder. They got him from Milwaukee. Pretty good player. The Yankees didn't do anything.
Yeah.
The New York Yankees,
Dustin
Ackley at 215 aside, left fielder. Michael Pineda goes on the DL yesterday. They don't bring in another reliever. They don't bring in another starting pitcher. They don't bring in Steven Drew's batting, what, 200? They don't bring another infielder in. The New York Yankees, this is bizarro land in the American League East, where the Jays at the deadline are just eating people's lunch and stocking up, and the Yankees are just the timid little kittens with a 6-game lead in the division, granted. But they're not the Yankees at the deadline that we used to see.
That's a big caveat in the conversation that they do have a 6-game lead in the division. But you're right. The buyers at this year's deadline outside the Dodgers aren't your grandma's deadline buyers. It's the Jays, it's the Royals, it's the Astros, it's the Mets who pick up Yoenis Cespedes. Couldn't get Carlos Gomez, but they go out and get Yoenis Cespedes with all that pitching.
The Pirates
I like that move.
The Pirates yesterday get Joaquin Soria in a bullpen that has an ERA under 3, so they're even better. Pick up J. Happ today from Seattle. So Pittsburgh, another market where you don't look at and go, wow, they're clearly buyers.
Right.
So it's a crazy, crazy time right now around Major League Baseball. And when you look at the names, Timmy, there's stuff here I've forgotten about. Mike leaked to San Francisco late last night. Somebody liked Carlos Gomez's MRI and didn't think his hip was degenerative. The Houston Astros gave up 4 prospects to acquire Gomez from Houston and Mike Fiers. The Mets deal with Gomez, some of you might remember, it happened in the middle of the David Price stuff, so maybe he didn't get as much play as it should have. But Carlos Gomez was on his way to the Mets, but they said no, no, no. Wilmer Flores cries in the infield, thinking he's going. Nope, it doesn't happen.
Never got a chance with the Wilmer Flores thing.
No, I felt bad for the kid. I felt bad for the kid.
Let me say this. I was reading ESPN last night, ESPN.com, and one of the things that, one of the headlines that they had, Jays stocking up for a run at the wild card. And I thought to myself after today, they're not just stocking up for a run at the wild card. This is a full-blown run at the Yankees. They think, especially with nothing done today, I believe that the Jays have to think that the Yankees are catchable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, we saw this. You had blue Kool-Aid in front of your face about a year ago when the Jays made a splendid run through May. But they built a lead like this before in this division and saw it crumble quickly. I think that Alex Anthopoulos looked at the division and saw, despite the fact that the Yankees were 7 games up, that they weren't built to last. That they weren't, I mean, they've gotten the most out of what they have, but a lot of people looked at this lineup and said, oh, they'll be lucky if they finish third this year.
The rotation's being held together with Scotch tape.
Right.
You telling me Tanaka is dependable?
Right. And A-Rod's a potential MVP vote getter? Like, that's going to continue? Listen, I'm not saying that the Yankees are bad. I've been on this show. I've been on record saying I love what Joe Girardi's gotten out of them. But I think the Jays looked at this situation and said, you know what? Listen, we're making a run to the wild card. But if we're going to go out and get Price, if we're going to go and rent a guy at this price, no pun intended, then we're going for the AL East. Yeah. We're not just going for the wild card. And I think that's what today tells you. Right now, Alex Anthopoulos is being near universally applauded for the job that he did during this deadline week. How is it possible that he could still lose his job at the end of the year if they don't make the playoffs? And I think that I don't know if I'm jumping the gun on this, but with Beeson on the way out, it'll be cause to reevaluate him. And if he doesn't make the playoffs, I thought it was locked and loaded before this deadline. If he doesn't make the playoffs, he gets fired. And even when Tulowitzki was picked up, I thought that was still the case. I wonder if that's still the case now. I was thinking, Sid, he's gone if they don't make the playoffs, even after Tulowitzki.
I'm not convinced anymore.
Price, Revere, and Lowe, and I'm starting to think, nah, he might have just saved his job with this week. But let's be fair to this. He was also universally applauded when he made a deal with the Miami Marlins.
Oh, they won the offseason of 2012, 2013.
They were the favorites in Vegas.
They won everything. They're the best team to win a World Series in November.
And how long did that buy him? A couple months?
Yeah. And then people were looking at him funny.
Yeah.
All I know is the next...
They're a Fire Alex Anthopoulos Twitter account.
The next president of the Toronto Blue Jays is out there in Major League Baseball right now. And he's a baseball guy. They're not going to get a suit who doesn't know what he's doing. It's going to be a baseball guy. Mm-hmm. Whether it's Dombrowski, whether his name's Duquette, whether his name is a guy who's not really on the tip of our tongues. Mm-hmm. They're all paying attention. And whoever that guy is has seen this and is now saying to himself, if he hadn't been already, this kid's got balls.
Yeah.
This kid can go out and get some stuff done and keep Aaron Sanchez and Marcus Stroman and Dalton Pompey.
Yeah.
That alone, in my books.
Out of that, man.
Well, Norris.
Yeah.
Come on, one of those guys was expendable. Norris was probably going to be the guy. And really,
I think Pompey. I think Sanchez and Stroman. The fact that he kept both of those guys through this. Those are the two big guys that
every team was asking about.
That every team was asking about, and every Blue Jays fan was like, please don't do this.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah, please don't do this.
Say it ain't so, Alex Anthopoulos. I think Alex Anthopoulos has a job with this team after this year, whether they get a wild card or not. And I think this is now so heavily on John Gibbons' shoulders, it's scary.
Right.
It's scary. I think Alex is now, he's not a Teflon Don, but he's close because no one thought this was possible, and he did it without giving up his best young guys.
I think we should put this one on the board because I wonder what the feeling will be like if they don't make the playoffs with this roster.